So the Sazerac is another classic cocktail that is steeped in apocryphal stories. But one thing that isn't apocryphal is what is the essential part of the cocktail. And that is Peychaud's bitters. Antoine Peychaud, he was an apothecary owner in the French Quarter of New Orleans in the 1830s. And he came up with this crazy mixture of herbs and spices that was supposed to cure anything and everything. And of course, at the time, you would put it in alcohol. Cognac was the choice during that period, during the antebellum period. I mean, don't we put things in cocktails? But it became very popular in the coffee houses around New Orleans, reed bars, the same way that cafes in Amsterdam just serve coffee. And at the time, there was a cognac named Sazerac du Forgefil. If I screwed that up, I apologize for my terrible French. But it was said that there was a couple of ways that the current cocktail got its start. It may have been because of the rise of rye whiskey as a popular beverage, or it could have been a blight of insects that actually destroyed the grapes in France one year, meaning that the cognac yield was really low. And so they moved to something that was more readily available, which would be rye whiskey. And so today we have the beautiful Sazerac rye, named after the cocktail, and it is made by Buffalo Trace. And that's what we're gonna use today to build our cocktail. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with 2 ounces of this beautiful, beautiful bottle. So 1 and 2 ounces goes into our mixing glass. And then we go next to Peychaud's. Now I moved this to this bottle because I popped off the top by accident. Now I can't measure with this. So in here, essentially 1 dash, you're gonna go, and that's about 1 dash. Remember, that's gonna be between 1/8 and 1/4 of a teaspoon. I know that's not an exact measurement, so generally hit right in the middle, about 1/6. So if you've got a little 1/4 teaspoon, go down towards the bottom. So I'm gonna do 3 dashes, which in something like this, it's about a squirt. And then for this cocktail, of course, we have to add a little bit of sugar to sweeten things. But I'm gonna actually use simple syrup this time, not a Rinch simple syrup. And now simple syrup is very simple. It's a 1-to-1. You make it just like you would a rich simple syrup, but you boil the water 1 part. So say you're doing a cup, that's gonna yield you quite a bit. I think I did about a 1/4 of a cup of water to sugar in here, and I still have a little bit left over. So you are going to do 1/4 of a cup or 1 cup, however much you want to make, 1 cup water to 1 cup sugar. Boil it, let the sugar dissolve. So then from here, we do 1/4 of an ounce. Now, traditionally they popped in a sugar cube and then poured the bitters on top and then mashed it all around. But I frankly don't like doing that because usually you get that little crunchy granularity of all the pieces that didn't quite melt into the liquor. And so I prefer to go ahead and do the pre-melting beforehand. So we have all of this in our mixing glass. Now we're going to pop our ice in. And stir. Now, at the time that the Sazerac cocktail was really popular, they would put a rinse in the glass. And a rinse is essentially when you stir your cocktails, make sure it is gentle. Don't beat the heck out of it. So when you do a rinse in a glass, let me move this over so it's not in my face. When you do a rinse in a glass, that really just means you pour a little bit in there, swirl it around, and dump out the excess. Now, I think that's fairly wasteful. So what I do is I take an atomizer or a spray bottle, and this is one that I actually had toner in. It was a toner sample, and I cleaned it out very well. You can see it says lavender on the back. It doesn't taste like lavender anymore because I rinsed it out very thoroughly and used vinegar. Vinegar is wonderful for extracting any sort of built-in gunked up scents or flavors into something. And also this is glass. So again, it is more resistant to any sort of scents and flavors. And I poured the absinthe in it. And so this is going to allow me to better spray that glass and get that rinse without all of the waste. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a chilled glass and magic of television. Maybe not so magical because I have to walk to the fridge. I have a nice chilled glass. You can either pop this in the freezer or you can just place a glass full of ice and water and let it sit, because that'll also do the exact same thing. If you've ever been to a bar and you've seen a martini glass on the bar with ice and water in it, they're chilling the glass. So then we're gonna take our Hawthorne strainer and we are going to strain. Ooh, no, Erin, my lord, I forgot the rinse. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure that you coat the entire inside of the glass with your sprayer. Now again, if you are doing, the rinse, if you don't have an atomizer, because that's okay, use about just maybe a little bit less than half of a bar spoon. So maybe like a half teaspoon of your absinthe, pop it into the glass and then rinse it around. That'll do about the same thing. And so then we pour this out. And it's gonna be a beautiful pinky color because of our Peychaud's is that lovely red. And then we are going to add a lemon on top, which apparently I have, here it is. Normally I put my citrus on this side, so I'm messing with myself today. And we are going to express it on top by holding the exocarp, which is the outside. Thanks, Derek, for letting me know. Lila also approves of that word. So there we go. And then the most important part is really going to be those aromatics from the absinthe, which is gonna give that anisette nose, and then from the oils from that lemon peel. And so the first thing that you're gonna do when you get a Sazerac, you're gonna notice that beautiful mixture of the oils from the lemon and then those beautiful licoricey notes from the absinthe. And now absinthe is perfectly legal. I actually have mine from Copper and Kings, which is a brandy distillery, and Other Things Distillery and Maker in Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks for Copper and Kings for sending this to me. And highly recommend, it's lovely. And absinthe is also something that you're gonna have a big bottle of. And I mean, if you like drinking it, please, by all means, like if you're a Sambuca aficionado and you like it with espresso, for example, you'll love absinthe because it has a very similar flavor profile. But for me, I really only use it in Sazeracs or other cocktails. So a little bit does go a long way. So cheers all. Laissez les bon temps rouler.